Disclaimer: this video is just only for educational purposes. Any information mentioned in the video is just only how we, the creators, understood the matter.
My name is Muhammad Abdullah Ibrahim.
Hello everyone, I'm Ala Kadru.
Welcome to our CSR project video. We are doing hierarch assessment in malls, and our group members are Muhammad Abdullah Ibrahim and Ala Kadru. So what is HIRARC, or Hazard and Identification, Risk Assessment and Risk Control? It is a set of steps taken to ensure that all workplace accidents are prevented from the worker and the users of that premises. The first step of using HIRARC is identifying the hazard. So the identification of hazard is a part of the process used to evaluate if any situation, item, and a thing might have the potential to cause harm. The purpose of hazard identification is to highlight the critical operation of tasks, that is, those tasks posing significant risks to the health and the safety of employees. Hazard can be divided into three main groups: health hazard, safety hazard, and environmental hazard. So what is unhealth hazard? Health hazard is any agent that can cause illness to an individual. A health hazard may produce serious and immediate or acute effects, or may cause long-term chronic problems. A safety hazard is any force strong enough to cause injury or damage to a property or a person. These hazards are like slipping or tripping in wet floors, fire hazards from flammable materials like stoves and in the kitchen of so many restaurants, and lifting and other manual handling operations. An environmental hazard is a release to the environment that may cause harm or deleterious effect. An environmental release might not be obvious. The second method of using HIRARC method is risk assessment. Risk assessment is the determination of the likelihood and the severity of the credible accident or event sequences in order to determine the magnitude and to prioritize identified hazards. It can be done by qualitative, quantitative, or semi-quantitative method. Risk can be calculated using the following formula, where L stands for the likelihood and S stands for the severity. So relative risk will equals L times S, or in other words, likelihood times the severity. The value is based on the likelihood of event occurring. Assessing the likelihood is based worker experience, analysis, or measurement. Likelihood levels range from most likely to inconceivable. Severity are based upon an increasing level of severity to an individual's health, the environment, or to property. Severity can be divided into 5 categories. It ranges from catastrophic to negligible. Another step when using the HIRARC method is the risk control step. Risk control is the elimination or inactivation of a hazard in a manner such that the hazard does not pose a risk to workers who must enter an area or work on equipment in the course of scheduled work. Hazards should be controlled at their source or where the problem is created. The closer a control to the source of a hazard is, the better. And this is the diagram which shows the hierarchy of controls when we are controlling a risk or a hazard. The first step is elimination, which is the most effective one. The least effective one being you protect the workers with personal and protective equipment. So the step after risk control is the implementation of what the risk assessment we did. So to implement an risk is to identify all the factors that may risk walkers toward an accident, consider the possibility of hazard that may occur under any circumstances and conditions, and enable workers to plan, introduce and monitor preventive measures against the risk of occupational injury. So in our project we are doing the hazards, especially in malls. So there are many hidden hazards in a shopping malls, and it is very easy to forget that there are potential dangers around virtually every corner in the mall. For example, wet floors can cause slip and fall accidents, while escalators and elevators may be poorly maintained, can get stuck in the person, and poor lighting can cause you not to see things you have otherwise seen and avoided. Some of the common hazard types that happen in shopping malls are like slipping floor accidents, which is very common accident, especially when cleaners just finish cleaning, as they can miss to dry some spots. The other thing that may pose a hazard to the people who are using a shopping mall is escalator malfunctions, which are increasingly common in individual stores and large malls with more than one floor. When they are not properly maintained, customers can slip or fall or get their clothing, hair and other parts of the body caught in the escalator. Another point that may pose a threat or hazard to a person who is using a shopping mall is poor lighting, which a lot of people miss. Poor lighting is very important. It can lead to robberies, it can lead to vehicle breakings, car accidents, and also it can cause injuries. Managing the hazard. Managing the hazard is also a key point. To manage the slipping problem that happens in malls must use anti-slippery tiles or mats so that there will be more friction to avoid slipping. To avoid escalator malfunctions, malls maintenance department must inspect regularly and ensure that escalators are working properly. To avoid any problem that may come from poor lighting, malls should install lights in all the premises and the surroundings of the mall to ensure the safety of its workers and its consumers also.